Alright, cool. So the last cold calling video I recorded had no audio, but whatever, I still uploaded it. But this isn't a cold calling video, this is a trade recap. And today is the 31st of May, 2023. It's 7:36, as you can see right down here. I only took one trade today, which was green. It was a great trade, but let's just get into it. I took this trade, let me go to the 3 minutes. I took this trade right here at this candle, right? 10:09. And I held all the way up until over here because I didn't check my phone from like this point onwards. I just didn't check my phone. Okay, so what happened? Well, first of all, why did I enter the trade right here? What made me enter it there? As we can see, if I just come down here, I have a couple of things written down, including the time. So I use a 3-step verification method on these candles, which is touch of the area of interest or touch of the level, close below or above the level. In this case, it's below, and then follow through. This green candle is the close of this monthly level, or the touch of the monthly level, and this candle right here is the close below the monthly level, and this third one is the follow through candle. I entered before this candle closed, so I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and I only got in like 10 cents. I don't know. It wasn't. Like, I jumped the gun a little bit, which wasn't smart. Volume, volatility, price action, 3-step verification. That's just how I trade. There's a lack of volume on the volume profile, and I know that the monthly level is very, very strong, and it takes a lot of volume to get past it, which is kind of interesting considering this one candle, I mean, it has more volume than the ones around it, but it didn't have that much volume. It wasn't like a huge candle, because normally whenever I see a level go through a daily, or whenever I see a candle go through a daily or a weekly or a monthly level even, it has a lot of momentum, has a lot of volume. It has to be a big candle to get through a level like that, or else it just kind of chip, bounce off the level, and then go back up. But this one wasn't too high volume, right? It kind of slowly went past this monthly level, which I've never seen before, or I don't think I've seen before. And on the volume profile over here, which you can't see anymore, there was a huge gap. Let me show. From here all the way down to like here. There was no volume on the volume profile. Or maybe not this far, but it was like something like this, where there was just no volume for quite a bit. And so that, not a huge indicator, but that's definitely something in the bearish favor. Going based off of the news for the day, that might be why it came back up. I only saw the news at 10, which was 2 million more job openings than expected, which I didn't do any more research apart from like knowing that and finding that out. So I don't actually know how job openings affect the market, but I'm assuming it affects the market not very great. It's not great for the stock market, but I don't know. Here when I say a bit of doji-like action but continued going downward, I'm talking about these candles right here. These ones, this one especially, but it just kept going downward, and if you zoom out, still going down, and you can see that these candles have more pressure within them. You can tell by how big the body of the candle is relative to the size of the wicks, like this one and this one. And if you go to the 15 minute, huge candles going downwards. But on the 3 minute, it's a little bit, it's not so great up here, not so great down here. VIX futures also bouncing off an area of interest. So if we go to the VIX futures, where was it? I'm fairly certain it was this bounce right here, because let me zoom out a little bit. When you look at the VIX futures, you can see that this rectangle that I've placed, every time the price hits it, it bounces back up. Bounces back up within the day, or this is the hourly chart, so maybe a couple of days later. And similar price action up here, but it's a ceiling. This one acts as a floor. So if I zoom back in, this bounce off, as you can see, it came off and it kept going up. But this right here was another indicator that we were going to keep going down. And remember, the VIX is an inverse to the SPY. So when the VIX goes up, the SPY goes down. And the VIX futures is I don't know how to describe it, but you can trade the VIX futures. You can't trade the SPY. Wait. You can trade the VIX futures, but you can't trade VIX, as you can see here. Let's try the end. See how it goes up. If we go to SPY, what's the last price action on SPY looking like? Oh, it went down. Okay, cool. This is such a messy video. I'm speaking like such an idiot. But basically, the VIX futures, I don't really know how it works so much, but you can trade it, unlike the VIX where you can't trade. The VIX is just an index, the fear and greed index for the S&P 500. The VIX futures has volume on it, so that's also a nice indicator. And let me go check the volume on the VIX futures. Right here, yeah. Especially since it was near the beginning of the day, there was quite a bit of volume and it was going up. So that's a big indicator for me that it'll probably keep going up. But mostly the price action and volume I'm watching, especially for the entry. Because, I was looking at the VIX and the other stuff. And the book. I guess, I don't know, level 2 data, but I don't really know. It's kind of weird. But mostly I was just looking at the candlesticks. That's usually how I trade. I was looking at the volume. If you can see here. Down here, the volume increased quite a bit, and then especially when we started getting some what's it called, some green candles. You can see these 4 green candles have a lot less volume than these red candles. But also around this time was when I had to start doing some schoolwork, so I couldn't chart as much, couldn't pay attention as much. I would have exited down here, but I only, up until when I exited, when the price was back up here, I only checked the chart twice. After this initial move and then this retest off of this level. This rectangle, I actually just drew because I went back and I started looking. Because this monthly level down to the KD level, it's no way that it's just going to go down there. That's like $3. There's no way it's just going to go down like that. And there's nothing in between that's going to try and stop it. Wall Street is going to try and buy back this stock at a certain price. And it clearly bought it back over here. But, you can kind of see why I put the rectangle here. You can keep going back to, and it aligns with this previous price action. So I just drew out a rectangle, and it kind of worked. This candle right here, this first candle, this one it touched, but it didn't close within it, inside the rectangle. This one did close, but it only closed within the last 15 seconds of the candle. It was green until the last 15-20 seconds. It was bouncing around this area a lot, but then clearly it went back up. I'm not sure why it went back up, honestly. Maybe it's news, maybe something else. But my thesis was that it was just gonna go straight down. But now that I'm thinking about it, that was less of a thesis and more of a bias because I wanted it to go down. I wasn't 100% sure that it was gonna go down. I had no idea of knowing. But I wanted it to go down because then that means that because then that means that because then that means that I would have gotten a really good trade. So obviously I wanted to go all the way down, but it didn't, so I kind of had a bias actually. KDW level is very respected so far in previous price action. This level that I have placed right here, price has responded to it accordingly very much in the past. So I have a lot of faith that this would come down and do something around this level. Volume is increasing as the move continues. In these, you can kind of see how the average volume line is moving upwards. That's what I meant by that. Finally, VIX futures, both jumping above level corresponding with the rectangle halfway through the move, which was slowing things down, giving me more confirmation that it's going to my target. Big message. But right here, as these candles are starting to fill into this rectangle, I go into the VIX, you will see a jump, a gap up in price. I don't understand the VIX too much to understand how significant gap ups actually are, unlike in regular markets like the SPY. But there was this gap up, because right here, if I go back, this candle was the one that closed into the rectangle and didn't fill up until like the last 20 seconds. And before the last 20 seconds, it was a green candle. I'm going to start speaking a little bit slower because I'm slurring my words and I'm stumbling over my sentences. This candle was green up until the last 20 seconds, and it only closed below or inside the rectangle within those last 20 seconds. So I was a little bit watching for a retracement, trying to see how things would play out. But the VIX, it jumped as that candle closed, and then where's it? 1020. I don't know. It just kept going up, the VIX future. So I guess that's that. But I had to do schoolwork starting 11. So like here, I did work all up until noon, and then noon I had lunch, and I just didn't check it up until like fucking like 2 p.m. And then by 2 p.m. it was like here. So I don't know.